need you to give God 3 days. I need you to tighten up and give God the 3 days.
Do it. Give God 3 days. If you're someone who's been considering fasting, or been convicted to fast, definitely do it. I have never done a fast before outside of the Daniel fast, so I've never done like a dry fast where you're doing no food, no water, and so I was a little nervous to do this. I did water only, and I was a little nervous, and I genuinely can't stop talking about and thinking about how transformational my fast was. So, as Vanity said, it's no food, no secular music, limited social interactions. Um, it's really intimacy with God. And I had seen people's testimonials, their recaps of the things that they've experienced during their fast, specifically the Esther fast. And when I went into the fast, I just prayed and I hoped that I would have something similar, but even if I didn't, I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. And I really wanted to just grow my intimacy with God and develop my spiritual discipline along with a whole slew of other things. So when I started with a fresh new journal, and it's so fitting that this says the adventure starts now. This journal was it was clean, nothing. And in 3 days, I literally, this is all 3 days. Like, it just was so incredible. So for the first 2 days, I did water only. And to give you a sense of how locked in and clearly I was hearing God throughout this fast, I'll explain why things changed on day 3. So, day 2, I was feeling convicted to do the third day dry, meaning no food, no water. As I said, I'd only been doing no food, but I had been drinking water. And I basically was in the elevator and I told God, okay, if this is what you want me to do, like dry for day 3, I need you to stop this elevator. I need you to make the lights go out. I need you to stop that. Like, I need you to be clear in my face that this is what you want me to do because I don't want to do it. And that didn't happen. So I was like, whew, okay, well, he doesn't want me to do it. But I wrote in my journal that night, I said, maybe he'll send me a sign in my dream and I'll take that as confirmation. So sure enough, I had a dream that night that I was in the elevator and something went wrong in the elevator and I wasn't able to take it anymore and I had to take an escalator instead. So I took that as confirmation and I did day 3 dry, and I can't even begin to explain how amazing the entire fast was, but I started seeing extreme breakthrough, clarity, just all the things. Like, day 2, it started. And I personally believe like anybody can not eat for 24 hours. They don't have to be fasting necessarily. So I felt like when you hit the 24 plus hour mark, that's when God is like, oh, you're taking this seriously. Like, you're doing this for me. So day 2, and then at the end of day 2, I said, wow, day 2 was incredible. I can't imagine what is to come for day 3. And he surely showed me. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, okay, the blessings that I have in store for you. Like, things appeared out of thin air. When I tell you opportunities presented themselves out of thin air. And I think, and I'm grateful that I was able to surrender my will and desire because I did not want to do dry for day 3. I had committed to doing water only. But that's just an example, a small example of like how clearly he was speaking and confirming so many things. And so if you're thinking of doing a fast, I definitely recommend you take it back to the Lord and pray on it. And I've, never previously, I think I had read Esther, but I didn't know it like I know it now. And like, it's just incredible. Fasting changes things. Fasting gets God's attention. It is a way to be a living sacrifice. It's a way to rededicate yourself to the Lord, to increase intimacy. It's spiritual. It is private. People aren't supposed to know that you're fasting. You're not supposed to, as the Bible says, make yourself look somber and like you're going through something. Like, I had work. I, had other things that I had to, like, responsibilities, but nobody knew. And it just was super special. And to break my fast, last night or this morning at midnight, I had a communion with God to thank Him for what He did on the cross, to thank Jesus, for what He did on the cross. But it was really special, a super amazing way to end, honestly, one of the most transformational experiences I've ever had in my life. And I'm not lying. Like, I was seeing people talk about how incredible it was. And like I said, I was just hoping that maybe I would have a inch of that, and I can truly attest that I have. And there's just so much. I wish I could like say it all, but like it's almost unfathomable. I definitely want to thank Vanity for putting out that message, because that was the first thing I saw, and that I took it back to the Lord, and I started being convicted. So started doing more research. Also, Maya's Muse, I'll tag her below in the caption. Sharing her experience with fasting. Like, I felt that like it's so important, if God is convicting you to do something, to share something, to do it, because it's very rarely is it only about you. It's about who else you can reach by sharing your testimony, by sharing your experience. And I definitely want to thank them. And also Megan Ashley and her In Totality podcast, that spiritual discipline episode. Oh, I can't even go watch it. Father Mike in the Bible in a Year podcast. I have so many things and resources. If anybody's interested in like what I was listening to, what I was watching during that time, I will happily go into a little bit more detail. It is very intimate and private, but like just to give examples of like how he was speaking clearly, he had a lot to say. Like I said, I'm in awe that it's like I'm almost halfway through this notebook, and it was in 3 days. So you can do it. If you're feeling convicted, take it to the Lord and you won't regret it.